Hi, welcome to MPW. My name is Matt, and today we are going to be looking at fitting a new drive chain to your motorcycle. Now, there are two main types of chain, one of which comes with what is known as a clip type master link, and the other one, probably the more common one, is what is known as a riveted master link. They both involve similar but really different processes, and we're going to show you how to do each one. Before you start to remove your old chain, it's best to just create a bit of slack. Now, the old chain will have stretched a bit, so this is for when you're fitting your new chain. It means the ends will come together nicely and you won't be struggling. I mean, you can do that after you've removed the chain if you prefer, but it's got to be done at some point. Just give yourself a bit of slack. The next thing you have to do is to identify your master link, the one that you're going to be splitting. Now, this is really quite easy to do. You have a look along the run of the chain and you can see that the ends of all the links that are, or the pins and the links that are joined at the factory look different to the master link pin ends. So you can identify them by the fact that they have got little holes in the middle and they're just generally a different size. So identify that, and what you will be doing next is basically using the tool to push one of these pins out, which will split the link. The parts of the tool you need to use for this operation are this bit. You want the thin end of the pin, so stick the fat end in there, and seat the link so that the inner end of the pin that you will be pushing out is seated over the hole in the bottom of the tool, so that when you push the pin out, it can come out that way. Okay, so make that seated, and you are fitting this so that it is in position A, and you can see that A there, the little arrow there, aligns with the pin you're going to be pushing out. Wind that down by hand until the end of the pin, the tool's pin, sits over the end of the joining link pin. Okay, so basically you just start to tighten that down, and it should be just a fairly progressive feel. It shouldn't be too tight. If it comes up really tight, it means something's not aligned correctly with the tool. And at this point, it's probably best to just unwind it and have a look, just to make sure everything's happening. And as you can see there, that pin is starting to be pushed through now. That one comes out of the side plate, and this one is now flush with it, which means we're pushing it through, and you can see on its inner side it's starting to come out. Exactly what we want. So just set the tool up again. You won't need to check this again. Just carry on. Now obviously we're doing it on the bench. I'll need to do it like that, otherwise the pin won't come out. So at some point in the not too distant future, that pin, that feels pretty loose now, so a bit more, that should. There we go, lovely. There's your pin removed. It's quite a good idea to use a link to join the end of the new chain to the old chain. Then as you pull the old chain out, it pulls the new chain in and around the front sprocket, and it sets it all up nicely for you. Just a little tip. So, to fit your new link, first thing to do, the new chain and the new link components will come with a little sachet of what is usually white grease. Now, even though everything is greased up and you can obviously feel this, it is best to use it, I mean it's not best to, just do it. Use this new grease and liberally coat everything as you put the parts together. And that is because once these pins are inside the rollers, that grease that you put in there, it's sealed in. Even though you're going to lube your chain regularly, that's not going to get past the O-rings or the X-rings. So particularly you want to lubricate all around the X-rings, all up the shafts of the pin. Don't worry about using too much, you can wipe it off afterwards. So the first thing to do is to fit 2 of the O-rings down over the pins and seat them against the plate like that. Next thing is to join the 2 ends of the chain. Now this master link always fits from the inside of the chain, and this is, I know we're working on the bench, so this is you know, imagine this is the bottom rung, but so you fit it from the inside, join the chain together like that, and then fit the other 2 rings like so. And the next thing to do is to seat your side plate, if you can pick it up, over the ends of the pins. Now the plate will come with a little mark on usually only one face, sometimes 2 faces, but if it's only on one face, then have it with the marked side facing out, and just seat it over the ends of the pins. Give it a little pressure just so that it locates. You will not be able to push that on as far as it needs to go by hand. It's what's called an interference fit, and this is where the tool comes in. So get that bit of the tool and fit it around the back of the chain. Now you'll notice that you've got a hole in the middle and 2 little recessed bits either side of that. What you want to do is seat the rivets on the other side of that in these 2 little dimples, so that the chain is like that, seated in place. Okay. What you'll see in this plate is the various depths of recess. Now this is all calculated so that you seat this side over the side plate, and when you press it on, the pins will project through the side plate as the side plate is pushed on, and when they reach this the center, the deepest recess, that is the correct amount by which the pins should be able to protrude. Now this is very important, because if it goes on too far, then the side plate will be squashing the O-rings or the X-rings, which will do it no good, and the link could become stiff, which you don't want. There is a particular width which you can measure and check later on, but really this tool is cut so that it just happens automatically. So seat that plate over the link like so, just making sure it's all central. Then you can slide it's all over. Make sure that this side with the sprung ball is on the same side as the A and B marks, the dimples. And then wind that down by hand at this stage until the thick end of the pin sits in its plate and the plate begins to push down. Okay, so once you've got your side plate pressed on, even though with this particular tool it does set the plate so that the pins protrude by a particular amount, the correct amount, there are tools that maybe won't do that. So it is always best to measure the width that you've got of an adjacent link and then measure the one that you've just done to make sure it is set correctly. Get a measurement. That's 20.85 mil, 20.9 mil. Then measure the one you've just pressed together. 20.7. Now, that's, from a point of view of accuracy, that's good enough. With that tool, you're not going to get any tighter. If you don't have a tool that sets it to a particular depth, if you try to get it any tighter than that, the chances are it'll go more and become possibly too tight. So that is within a good enough tolerance. Next, just check that everything is working as it should, which it is. Give it a good flex, everything's moving. That's not a problem. Right, so now that we've got this side plate fitted onto the correct position over the pin ends, what we need to do is to basically flare these pin ends so that they mushroom over the plate a little bit and secure in place so that it can't come off. To do that, again, go back to your tool. Now, as you can see, the ends of the pins are indented and the end of this tool is shaped so that when that sits over there, you can see it doesn't quite sit on there exactly, but when you push that down, this bit pushes into the middle in the hole in the pin and kind of just mushrooms out the side, and when the outer bit contacts the plate, you can't push any more, you've pushed enough, and the amount of mushrooming is correct to secure the pin. Now it fits the pin in there so that the fat side is facing out. Now when you do this, you want to align the tool so that you're in position B. Get your 27mm ring spanner over the body and use your socket and just tighten it down a little bit at a time, and then just check it's going on correctly. Oh, I need to loosen that off. Okay, just have a quick look, and yes, you can see that the hole there is starting to get bigger in the middle than it is there, which means it's starting to flare out. So that's working correctly. Again, just seat everything in there and carry on until that rounded end of the pin seats on the side plate. And then just visually check again. Yep, you can see that's staked over. That's all looking good. Got nice movement there. It's just the same as the movement in the other links. Job done. Thank you for watching our video on how to fit chains. We have been MPW. Please like this video and subscribe to our channel. And if you'd like to leave any comments or suggestions, do so in the box below. Thank you.